All right, Ben. Hey, congratulations for Run and Gun.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And he froze. Oh, you froze.
Terrific.
Oh, there you are.
Did I phrase? Oh.
Yeah. You froze there for a second. You kind of call like this.
Hey, so Ben, tell us what drew you into an action comedy project like this?
The script drew me in definitely. I mean, this I always loved this genre, this style of film, and it came together. A friend of mine that I worked with on a previous project, Mighty Oak, he I was talking to him one day and I was saying, I really want to do something in this wheelhouse. And so he said, well, you should meet my friend Chris Borelli. This is the kind of stuff that he writes. So we all got on the phone together and she said, yeah, I've got something that I want to write and I want to direct, and I'll send you the script when I'm done. So he sent me the script and I was like, that's it, we're doing it. Let's make this movie. So the three of us teamed up and a couple months later we were shooting.
Where did you guys shot at? Was this in Australia or
No,
America?
we shot in the US. We shot 18 days in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and then we did 2 days in the Salton Sea.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That must have been some hot weather. Or did you guys shoot it in the winter?
Salton Sea, it was about 115 degrees for those 2 days. But in Albuquerque, we were there around this time. And so it was freezing. Like, people think of New Mexico and you think of like, oh, desert, it's going to be really hot and all of this sort of stuff. But no, it snowed one day. So it was not really hot. It was cold.
Wow. So what do you like about playing this character, Ray? Was it the action part or was it the humor part?
Actually, both those parts were amazing. Both those parts were so memorable and so much fun. But one of the things I really loved about this character was finding the humanity in him and finding the humanity in a character like this. He and the vulnerability of a guy in these situations. Because at the end of the day, that's what he is. He's just a guy that has made a couple mistakes in his past, like we all have. We've all been there, maybe not to the degree that Ray has, but we all have a life, and this is just a guy who is now trying to be better and trying to do the right thing. And that's one of the things that really like clicked for me, and it was really finding the heart of who this guy is and being able to express that. That was one of the biggest take homes for me.
I always imagined Ray was just a guy who was trying to survive.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but the thing is like he had a family. He has a family now, and he loves them. So he just wants to go home. And I think we can all relate to that,
Now, there's a lot of action in this film. Did you have to prep before this project?
To a certain degree, yes. Physically, and it was really fun because I got to do a lot of it myself. So I had an absolute blast doing all of those stunts.
So all those stunts is you?
Maybe it's probably like 80%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, tell me this. Was the car stunt, is that
I got dragged behind a car. That's
really? You agreed to do that?
Yeah. I actually said, please let me do it.
What was that? What was that like? I mean,
it was amazing. It was the most fun I've had on a film set in my entire life. Like, I mean, I was protected. I had pads on and elbow pads and all of that sort of stuff. But it was it was so much fun. I sound like a maniac, huh? Just to be able to say, yeah, it was so cool getting dragged behind a car. But it really was. It was really fun. I mean, you dream of this stuff as when you're a kid, right? You dream of being able to do these things, and this what this job is you get to go and live those imaginations that you've had as a kid. You get to go play dress ups for 12 hours a day. It's amazing.
Just out of curiosity, how far or how many takes did they actually have you do that?
I did like 4, and it was over I don't know how many feet it was, but we did like 4 takes.
Wow.
We got up to 20 miles an hour.
That must have been some adrenaline rush. I don't know how to compare, being dragged. I was gonna say maybe it's like zip line, but it's probably not even in comparison.
No, it's not. I've never had so much dirt in my face my entire life.
So this, doing stunts and pretending like this is probably one of the reasons why you got into acting in the first place, then, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I had always loved movies as a kid, and always found, the ability to put a movie on and experience this whole world that someone created from their mind, and just to be able to like go and be a part of that world for, an hour and a half. And then, but I never actually, I know I loved movies, but I never actually thought that I could go and do movies. And then, so when I finished high school, I went and traveled around Europe for a bit, and did the whole backpacking thing, and really kind of came to this decision that, you know what, if I don't try something, I'm just going to try. And so as soon as I got home, I started taking an acting class, and then I just immediately fell in love with it. And now we're here.
Do you remember your very first project? Did that make you fall in love with acting?
Yeah, my very first project was this movie called Newcastle, and it was this Australian film about a group of teenagers that were surfers, and that whole experience really made me fall in love with making movies and being involved in movies. It really did.
That is pretty awesome. I mean, I'm impressed that you acted and did your own stunts and everything like that. But let me ask you another challenging feat that you actually had to pull off is limping, because apparently you did a lot of limping.
You know what happened? So I was limping on one leg, and because the leg was supposed to be hurt that I was limping with, I was overcompensating with the other leg. So the other leg started hurting me all the time. And it was really hard not to limp on that leg. But we can't change it because you got to keep continuity. So this leg's actually hurting, and I'm limping on the other leg. It was a whole thing.
Oh, wow. It's obviously you made a lot of sacrifices in this film.
Yeah. But every single one of them was 100% worth it.
Now, I want to ask about the location, this factory.
Yeah.
So was this in Albuquerque that you guys found? Like, it's like an abandoned factory, and you got to like play and run around in it?
Yeah, it was really there. I remember seeing it for the first time, and I was like, hang on a second, did you guys build this? Because I pictured this. It's perfect. So yeah, it was this old I think it was a non-working old like power plant, old factory. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Cold though, because it was all concrete. Yeah. So it would get really, really cold, and it would never warm up. So it was that was fun.
That is a whole lot of fun. So, for yourself, you want to stick into this genre of, sort of action comedy genre?
You know what? I really, really do like this genre. It's I think that there's like a really big place for it. It's so much fun, and there's a lot of heart in this movie, but it's not. I just think it really just brings the world of entertainment. Like, that's what it's for. It's for entertainment, this movie, and I enjoy them. I watch them constantly, so it's something that I want to continue doing. Yeah.
Most excellent. Well, one more thing before I let you go, I want to ask you about the Mandela effect. How aware how aware of you about the Mandela effect?
Did you Google it?
I had to Google it. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, all of the things. Could you believe? My mind blown. It was. I remember reading the script. I was like, wait a minute. The Monopoly Man has a monocle. I swear he has a monocle. And I Google it, and he doesn't. It was crazy. And then I started going on, many YouTube rabbit holes about the Mandela effect, reading up all about it. And there's so many things in there that were embedded in my memory that were wrong. And I could have sworn that it was this way. I could have sworn he said, "Luke, I am your father."
Yeah.
I could have sworn, but turns out.
No, I did the same thing. I had to Google that Star Wars clip and listen over and over again. And I was like, going, wait a minute.
You just did it like this. Jaw on the floor. How have I gone through my entire life thinking this, and it's been this? How does this happen? It's a really fascinating subject, actually.
No, I think that is a fascinating subject. I'm glad he wrote that into this movie, because it's like one of those things that just stuck with me through this film.
Yep.
Well, Ben, it's an excellent film. I know it's a lot of fun, because I could tell you had a lot of fun doing your own stunts and everything else with Absolutely. It, and there's even that possibility of a sequel, possibly.
I mean, I don't know. We haven't explored it yet, but I mean, who knows what's in the future?
That is true. You know what? We will see, because I would love to speak to you again in the future.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.